Y'all know what time it is. Detroit basketball. The Detroit Pistons won their second straight game on the road against the Los Angeles Lakers, 117-114, and now moved to 13-17 overall on the season. This was a fun game to watch, man, from start to finish. Isaiah Stewart was still out tonight with the hyperextended knee. And Bobby Klintman, for the first time as a Detroit Piston, was available to play tonight if we needed him. So you guys know how I feel about him. I've been talking about him since July, August. He's going to be a very important piece of this team, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play soon. But y'all know LeBron is my GOAT, right? But you also know that whenever he plays my Pistons, that goes out the window. So beating the Lakers tonight was very, very enjoyable. Was very enjoyable, man. But first things first, though, man. I can't go on without saying this first. Shout out to Cade Cunningham, man. Winning Player of the Week, well-deserved, many, many more in his future, and many, many other awards. He's had a phenomenal week, and the biggest thing is that the Pistons were 2-1. We always talk about it, right? You got to get wins if you're going to get these accolades. Like All-Star games, Player of the Week, Player of the Month. The stats are only half the battle. You got to get dubs. And the Pistons are starting to string wins together, and now he's starting to get recognized for it. So it's really good to see that for him. He deserves it. He's been here in the trenches with this team. 14 wins last season. 17 wins another season, no more than 25 wins since he's been here in the season. So everything he's getting now, he deserves it, and it's really, really good to see him getting the accolades he deserves. Shout out to subscriber MB Well, who was at the game tonight, and he told me that Cade was getting shots up an hour before the tip-off and that he looked locked in. So initial thoughts, man, right? This was a very entertaining game from start to finish. And the stars were in the building tonight, man. Leo DiCaprio was there. Nas was in the building. Sandra Bullock was there. Floyd Money Mayweather was in the building, and both the Lakers and the Pistons put on a show. But as far as the Pistons are concerned, whether the Pistons won tonight or not, I would have been okay, because I'm seeing the Pistons are slowly starting to consistently now show their identity, playing tough, physical basketball. That's always been the hallmark here. It's always going to be the hallmark here. And the Pistons tonight and in the last few games now are continuing to be more consistent when it comes to that. And you know you're building an identity with your team when you start to see your team doing the same things over and over again. We're starting to see on a consistent basis now more ball movement. We're starting to see guys more now moving without the basketball. We're seeing guys setting screens for back cuts. We're seeing turnovers now getting turned into easy buckets. We're going to get more into that later, but we're starting to see the same things now happen every game, regardless of who the opponent is. And that is a credit to the Pistons buying in to what JB Bickerstaff is trying to infuse here. And that's just tough, hard-nosed physical basketball. This was definitely 100% a team win. There were a lot of standout performances from guys. But once again, this wasn't a game where you needed to lean heavily on just one guy offensively. No Pistons scored 25 points in this game. So once again, we've seen the last few games now where a balanced scoring attack coupled with hard, tough-nosed defense is going to be the recipe for this team. We know that Cade Cunningham, he has full intention of being a two-way player. That's going to mean he's going to exert more energy defensively, which means he's not going to be able to carry the load offensively every single night. That's just going to be one of the effects of him committing more of his energy and his effort to the defensive end. So tonight's performance, as far as on the stat sheet, is what I want to see, right? A very balanced scoring attack, getting contributions from everybody. The bench tonight, man, the bench brigade, those guys came in tonight and made so many timely plays, from Malik Beasley to Ron Holland to Asar Thompson to Simone Fontecchio, to B-Ball Paul Reed defensively. Man, all those guys contributed tonight. Everybody contributed tonight, and everybody was bought in to playing tough defense and just spreading the ball around offensively, and whoever gets the best shot is going to take it. So shout out to the bench. They really were a big part as to why the Pistons won this game tonight, because the Lakers don't have a strong bench. They lean heavily on their starters. And so when the bench came into this game, which we'll get to, is when the Pistons really started to take control of the game. So let's get to the box. Eastern Conference Player of the Week had 20 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 5 turnovers, 9 for 25 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line in 35 minutes. So he could not shoot it straight tonight, right? He was trying to get his offense going early by getting into the paint and drawing fouls. But a lot of shots that he normally makes just didn't fall for him tonight. I think a lot of that was just from him being tired because he's still adjusting to the defensive load he's going to be carrying. So I wasn't too concerned about that. He's going to have some off shooting nights, right? When you play hard defensively, you're going to have some off shooting nights, which is why it's important to have a balanced scoring attack, right? But he was still effective as far as running the offense well and getting everybody else involved. I want to say this too. We're beginning to see how important it is to Cade to want to go at the best player every night. Because in back-to-back games now, he's defended Kevin Durant and LeBron James, two of the best players of all time. But Cade is just showing, man, he wants that challenge. Like, a lot of people always talk about how guys like Anthony Edwards, and rightfully so, like, love to take on that challenge on both ends of not just getting buckets, but also strapping up defensively and wanting to guard the best player. Because we live in a different world now. We live in a world now where branding is so important and guys don't want to hurt their brand. And if you're the best player and you're not guarding the best player and the opposing best player is scoring all night, it's not on you, right? But when you say, I'm going to guard the best player, if the best player drops buckets on you, it's going to be obvious. And a lot of times players feel like that could hurt their brand. But certain guys like Cade don't care. Certain guys like Cade just want to compete. It's about basketball first and everything else following. And that's why I'm such a big fan of Cade, is because it's always basketball first for him. He wants to go at the best player. He wants to line up on the other side and say, let's go. Who's a better player? Who's going to win this game? Who's going to lead their team to victory? A lot of guys in this league don't have that mindset. And for him to have that mindset and to still be able to deliver the goods offensively like he's been able to do, he's just getting started, man. He's a special player. I really hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying when it comes to the mentality, because that's really an old school throwback style of thinking. And it just shows his maturity at a young age that he really just wants to win. He doesn't care about anything else but winning. He really just wants to become a complete basketball player on both ends of the court. And him taking on that challenge of guarding the best player every night goes a long way to show that. One more thing on Cade too, man. What stood out to me tonight with Cade was his reads. He did have 5 turnovers. A few of those were careless, but his reads are getting better. His understanding of opposing players' tendencies is something that you only learn with time and film. And you can tell now that that was really all he needed. There was a play in the first quarter where he got downhill off the dribble, right? But he slightly hesitated, like he was going to pass it to Fontecchio, who was on the wing. That hesitation was because LeBron was sitting on that pass. LeBron was sitting on it. He was waiting for that pass, and LeBron was looking for an easy steal and dunk. So Cade hesitated and then faked the pass, didn't carry the ball, and continued to drive hard to the hoop. And then he made the pass to a wide open Fontecchio because now LeBron was out of position and Fontecchio knocked it down. So many times you see a player catch a ball in the wing, pump fake, drive to the basket, try to kick it, and it gets stolen. But Cade is making counter plays when it comes to facilitating now too, because he knows what players expect and he's doing the opposite of that because he knew LeBron was looking for that. And so he threw him off and still made the pass just 1 split second later. So things like that are really showing that Cade is diving into the film and he's understanding what certain players like to do, what their tendencies are. And I think that's what's going to make him such a good basketball player because we know he's not a top shelf athlete. He's not a crazy leaper, but cerebrally understanding the game, understanding who you're playing against, just understanding the details of the game is what is going to continue to make the game look easy to him. He's going to be really, really good, man. Like I'm watching him play. And I'm watching the little things that he's doing game to game, the adjustments he's making game to game. And I'm seeing he's picking it up and he's getting better and better. Jaden had 18 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 8 for 15 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3 in 29 minutes. So Jaden played an efficient game. He played under control. He didn't force anything. He was playing within the flow of the offense. And defensively, he was giving all effort. And you can see that he's becoming more and more comfortable in his offense. He's becoming more and more comfortable with his role. I think you guys can see, once again, what a healthy Jaden Ivey can be, right? The last couple of games now since he's been out, he's looked really, really good. He's been very, very efficient. And we're seeing defensively how he's able to help this team get easy buckets in transition. And in the half-court on offense, you can see he's just taking his time, taking what's available, making the right reads when Cade's out of the game. And when Cade's in the game, he's looking to score. He had a tough lefty buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter, too, which was tough. I don't even know how he made that shot. But Jaden is just scratching the surface, man. He's going to be very, very good for this team. And more people are starting to see that Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey can coexist just fine. Jalen Duren has 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 1 or 2 shots in 27 minutes, and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. So it looks to me like JD is saying, let me start from the ground level as far as how I need to play. Let me start from the beginning, ground level, as far as understanding how I need to play for this team. We all understand that JD likes to score the basketball. We understand that he's a talented player, super athletic, super strong, right? Things you can't teach, just natural gifts. But I think JD is now understanding that he has to play differently for this team. He's not going to be an offensive weapon necessarily on this team. He's going to be a great rebounder and defensive anchor first. And I think now that he understands that, he's just focusing on that. And that's why you don't just see 6 points, but you only see 2 shots. For me, that's encouraging because that tells me that he's trying to understand exactly what he needs to be defensively and how he's going to go and do that. He played very, very well defensively against AD tonight. He and Paul Reed both played great. But defensively, Jalen Duren played with as much effort defensively as I can remember in a while. He made life difficult for AD, and he only had 3 fouls. And his focus, as of right now, is on the defensive end. So I'm really not bothered by the 6 points because I could just really tell tonight that it appears that he's accepting that he needs to learn the defensive end of the floor first, and everything offensively as a result of that is going to be a bonus for him. Additionally, too, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He was about 58% on the season. So the last 2 games now, he's 6 for 6 combined. So that's good to see because he said this offseason that was a point of emphasis for him, was to try to get it higher than what it was last season, which was in the 70s. He's going to continue to get better and better. He's not going to have 6-point games all season, but I really think that he's now trying to focus on the defensive end of the floor and just trying to be an anchor first. If that means he sacrifices some offense for now, that's fine because the Pistons have always had defensive anchors when they were successful. Always. So if he's going to be that, if he's going to be the center of the future for this team, that's what he's going to have to be. And it appears that he's trying to learn how to do that first. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line in 25 minutes. Tim was balling tonight, man. He was doing what you expect he would do, right? But he shot the ball really, really well. He's not getting 15 points on 15 shots, right? 15 points on 8 shots is great. And he's giving effort on defense. I still don't think he's the small forward of the future. I still think that is going to be one of the wings on this team. But because of his experience that he can offer now to stabilize the starting lineup, I do understand why he's there. But I do think at some point this season, we're going to see a change in the starting lineup. Tobias Harris has 6 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 of 10 shooting, all 3 from 3-point in 29 minutes. Tobias didn't play well again tonight. Honestly, at this point, I think we need to have a serious conversation about whether he should be starting or coming off the bench because we all know that he was brought here to give a scoring punch, right? And early in the season, when he was struggling with his scoring, he was still giving us about 8 rebounds a game. And for him to have 6 points and 1 rebound tonight, he's not really giving the Pistons enough. The effort is there, but he's just not knocking down shots, and he's not doing enough on the defensive end to start, in my opinion. I would rather look at guys that we have on our bench who were very effective tonight. I always talk about setting the tone, right? Defensively setting the tone to start games. And I don't feel like he really helps with that defensive tone being set to start games. I feel like he tries, but I don't feel like he has the size or the athleticism or strength to be able to help set the tone alongside Jalen Duren, who's still trying to find his way defensively. So in my opinion, I think as far as from a consistency standpoint, there needs to be a shakeup in the starting lineup in the front court for sure. That takes us to the bench. And of course, we are going to start with the player who I think is going to be in the 3-point shootout and who also is going to get serious consideration for 6th man of the year. Malik Beasley, man. I sound like a broken record, but Malik Beasley continues to impress, man. He has provided so much offense, not just shooting, but offense for this basketball team that I don't think any of us saw coming. I know I didn't see it coming. Tonight, it seemed like every time the Lakers tried to stretch their lead early, when they had the lead in the first half, Beasley would hit a tough 3 to keep the Pistons in it. And in the second half, when the Pistons were up and the Lakers were trying to come back late, Beasley would hit a big 3 to keep the Lakers at bay. I absolutely love what he brings to this team. I could not ask for more from Malik Beasley, and we got him on a bargain. This contract now is looking like an absolute bargain. Even the swag that he brings to this team now. There was one play where Anthony Davis went up for a foul, and he yelled. And Beasley said to him, just because you say, don't mean you got fouled. And I was so happy to hear him say that because Anthony Davis is so annoying with that. Every time he goes up, Even if nobody's around him, he's making noise, and the refs just give it to him. I like AD as a player, but I cannot stand that he does that. I cannot stand players who anticipate fouls or who try to bait fouls. That's not basketball to me. Play through fouls. Don't expect the foul, because when you expect the foul, you're not focused on the shot. Play through it. So I just love that Beasley brings that swag to this young team, and he gives confidence to this young team. And on the court, he just provides space and scoring and timely buckets whenever the Pistons seem to need it, man. I just love everything he brings to this team. And he's a really big reason as to why the Pistons are 2-0 to start this road trip. Ron Holland had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal on 5 of 7 shooting, 0 for 1 from 3-point in 13 minutes. 10 points in 13 minutes. Ron Holland is an absolute game changer for this basketball team. It seems like every time he gets into the game, he's turning somebody over and getting a layup or getting a dunk. He just brings that defensive tenacity, man. Every time he's on the court, he's getting up into you. He's making you uncomfortable. I love the dog that this kid brings, man. And I got a confession to make. During the NBA draft process, I personally wanted the Pistons to take who the Lakers have, Dalton Connect, because I thought he would provide shooting that Cade would need. But after watching both of them tonight, for what this team needs, for what the Detroit Pistons need, for what the Detroit Pistons are and always have been, give me Ron Holland 10 times out of 10. Ron Holland just fits Detroit basketball. What I'm seeing from him as a rookie, the way he's been playing lately, he does not look like a rookie. He is not playing basketball like a rookie. He's playing with confidence. He's playing with toughness. He's playing with swag. He's playing with fearlessness. Imagine Ron Holland 2 or 3 years from now, where he'll be. It's going to be pretty scary watching this kid continue to grow. Asar Thompson, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 or 5 from the field in 16 minutes. So Asar was just part of the bench unit that was creating turnovers, finishing defensive plays with his rebounding. He played a solid game. He didn't play a ton of minutes because we had guys like Fontecchio and Ron Holland who also played well. But the minutes he played well. Fontecchio had 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Fontecchio did not miss tonight. One of the shots he made was a buzzer beater bank 3 over LeBron. He just had it going tonight. And he knew he had it going too, because there was a few times when he was open and they didn't give him the ball and he was visibly frustrated. That doesn't usually happen. So when he was demanding the ball like that, I could tell that he knew he had it going. And he showed it, man. And he showed it. Like I always say, all I want to see him doing is shooting the basketball. If he can catch and shoot, I am confident every single time. If he's got to catch it and put the ball on the floor, that's when I get concerned, because he's not a shot creator. He's just a shooter. So I'd rather see him moving without the basketball, diving toward the rim when you got a mismatch and getting an easy shot. Things like that instead of him actually handling the ball. And now you guys see why I always say that, because he's just a rhythm shooter. When he's catching and shooting, he's buckets. When he's not, he's not. So great all-around win from this team. And this is the type of Pistons basketball I hope we see all season long. Gritty, physical, tough-nosed defense and energy and effort, and offensively, moving the ball, spreading the ball around, balanced scoring. And that's what we got tonight. Question for you guys. So the Pistons are now 30 games into this season, and they sit at 13-17. How many wins will the Pistons finish the season with? Before the start of the season, I had them at 34, and I'm sticking to that. As of right now, they're on pace for 35. Let me know down below in the comments. And what did you see in tonight's game that I may have missed? Let's talk about it. Appreciate you hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit first everybody. Peace.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. #1 pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Kid arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B. No, when he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him washed when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it ready, yeah. Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went #1 for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Win Benyamin.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised a Texan, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Forgot about Cade, they forgot about Cade. Forgot about, how you forget about Cade?